Hey guys, how you going? Thank you so much for all the nice comments from last week. It really meant a lot. And thank you to everyone who watched that video. It really lifted my spirits and yeah, made me feel a lot better to know that everyone thought he was such a good dog. Anyway guys, this week going to be a lot less depressing. I am going to show you what's been going on, and I'm going to show you a few issues that I've got with the Homestead, what I'm going to do about them, and how I've been going about composting. I've got little Tato here with me. She's doing well. Good girl. I'll show you some of the other pups, and yeah, we'll just see what else we've been up to this week. Anyway guys, hope you're having a fantastic time, and I will of course talk to you later. Have a good one. Okay, so these corn were planted 2 weeks apart, but still that doesn't account for the colour difference. The height difference, maybe. I mean, these are over 10 feet tall now, they're up to the roof. But as you can see, they're a dark, lush green, and these ones are very light green and almost yellow in some places. Now, to me, this says nitrogen deficiency, and maybe some other problems as well. But we're going to be composting on this part next year. So this whole section here next year, we're just going to take everything out and just compost absolutely everything here, and hopefully restore some of the soil health. And we'll continue to grow on this part. All of this corn will get dropped exactly where it is, but yeah, it's already started to produce some fruits, so let's go and have a look at that. Okay, so corn is actually wind pollinated. Up the top you have the flowers, these produce all of the pollen, and that just drops down onto these little things down here, and those little hairs that you see on top, those catch the pollen, and that's what each one of those is connected to a single piece of corn, and inside that's where you get the corn from. As you can see, this is all lush and healthy. Every single one of them's looks like it's producing at least 2 cobs, so yeah, doing very, very well. This one's pollinated, the white one in there is not pollinated, but yeah, so this part here, which used to be a barn, it's actually very fertile and has a good balance of minerals in it, but the section over there, not so much. So in part to combat that, what I'll be doing is putting on a hell of a lot of compost. Now this is my compost heap that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I can't actually turn it at the moment because I don't have the space, but once these sunflowers come down, then I'll have the space to compost over there. But yeah, in here I use a no rules composting. Literally anything that's organic can go in. It takes a little bit longer to break down, but I'm not in any rush for compost right now. This is all for next year. I have just been wetting it down because it was drying out a bit too much, but in general, literally everything, animal waste, animal bones, all of that stuff can just go straight into the compost. So yeah, anything that was organic goes straight in, and then next year all of this will be spread all over all of that, and hopefully we'll restore some health. So even though the corn was planted at different times and might not show you the best example, these squash here, they were planted at exactly the same time as these squash here, and they're the same variety as well. And as you can see, there's somewhat of a difference. I mean, they've already grown out all the way up there, looking much healthier. So this side is much healthier, with a better balance of nutrients than this side here, which has been farmed historically. So before I got here, this was a cultivated field, and so it's just depleted. But we'll get it back to health with the wonders of composting. Now if you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen that I've been posting this picture. One, it makes my house look quite nice, and two, the sunflowers are looking good. But yeah, we've still got loads of unopened sunflowers just everywhere. So once all of these are open, I think this picture is going to be even more impressive. Lots and lots of little flower buds still to open. And of course this is all chicken feed, so every single one of these is going to feed some chickens, and we're going to turn all of these sunflowers into some meat. This field's done, all of the peas are out, so I've just let the weeds come back. I'm getting ready to till it all through and tuck it up for the winter. But just on the edge here I've got some more sunflowers, and you've actually got a really good indication of nitrogen deficiency, because I also planted them with some beans. So if you look at the sunflowers, they're not particularly green and vibrant compared to the beans. Now beans and all legumes are nitrogen fixers. Well, they produce their own nitrogen, so they don't need it. So as you can see, those leaves are nice and green, but these leaves are a little bit yellow. Definitely a lighter green. So to me that is a very clear indication of a nitrogen deficiency, once again on this historically farmed field. So yeah, this will also be set aside next year and composted. Now I do love sunflowers, but this volunteer one in the field, this is actually in a separate non-sunflower field. It's right next to where the lettuce was, where the tomatoes are. I shall be cultivating this particular sunflower because it's covered in flowers. Now if these all open, this will be a very productive sunflower, just because it grows multiple flowers. So we'll try and save all the seeds from this, cultivate it, and see whether it was a one-off mutation, or whether this is going to be passed on to the next generation of this sunflower. So this will be next year's sunflower, and I'll be growing this with beans as well, as a little grow the sunflowers and then put the beans in to grow up the sunflowers. Saves you on trellising for your beans. Hello Mr. Bee, make me some seeds. So my tomatoes are doing okay. I mean, not great, but okay. It's quite a shock. I don't really grow tomatoes, but yeah, tomatoes are doing alright. Well, as you can see, we've given Beef and Burger's grave a little upgrade. He's got his little oak tree there. That's been in for over a week now, so that's definitely rooted in and survived. So that's his little oak tree. That'll stay there and hopefully grow into a nice big tribute to him. All of the tiles and the carpet will come away once that tree is established, and we'll just leave the headstone and the gloves and the sticks there for him. But yeah, I just wanted to show you, after 2 years of training, we finally have this down. So Beef and Burger, stay. Good boy. Well done, Beef and Burger. Yeah, I know, tasteless joke, but you know, once you can laugh about things, they feel much better. Anyway, so I did say I wasn't going to weed this corn, but I have actually been through and weeded between them. I'll show you what the other ones look like. They were just completely choked up, but yeah, hopefully this will just mean that they've got a bit more stuff available to them, because it's not being competed for with the weeds. So this is the corn I haven't weeded yet. I'll be doing this on Monday. I don't do any work on Sundays, but yeah, so as you can see, you just can't see through. It's completely clogged out, so I will be weeding through here as well, taking out lots of weeds. Like this is actually deadly nightshade, so I mean, it's not actually that harmful, but it needs to come out because it's competing with the corn. And you can actually end up cross-pollinating chilies with any of the nightshade family, so better be a little bit careful. But yeah, so all of that's going to be weeded. But if I take you over here, so this, I have not weeded this section, and I've used squash as weed suppressant, and I mean, as you can see, it's much clearer. There's no choking in there. So this is actually an old Mexican method. They would grow squash and beans in between their corn plants, and the squash work as weed suppressant and the beans work as a nitrogen supplier. I'm not sure how true it is that they actually supply nitrogen. I think they use it themselves. But yeah, they definitely works on the weed suppression side of things. Of course, all of the puppies have their father's lovely blue eyes, but Chonkers actually has a half brown eye, which looks very pretty, doesn't it, Chonkers? Who's a good girl. Well, the Walnut trees have been in for a couple of weeks now, 3 weeks I think. Put them in when there were just a couple of leaves. As you can see, they're growing particularly well, and the carpet suppression system is working very, very well. So I'll definitely be continuing this sort of system as I plant out more trees. Just a square of old carpet with a couple of roof tiles to hold it in place gives this guy a very good chance. Now, I did actually hear that in Bulgaria it's actually illegal to cut down walnut trees without permission of the mayor. I'm not sure how that applies to trees you've cultivated yourself, but I'm sure if we just talk to the right people, we'll get the right answers. But anyway, guys, it's been a much better week this week. I hope you guys have had a fantastic time, and I will, of course, talk to you next week.